So my name is Brad Kryzsiak. I'm a third-year PhD student at Miami University, working on microbiology, looking at the interactions between algae and bacteria in Antarctic lakes. So what I really like about microbiology is that these super small organisms that you can't even perceive with your eyes can have profound effects on not only our oceans or our health, um, but on just every environment that they're in. Much like humans, they have developed ways to act and counteract both each other and the environment as well. So in the field of microbiology, scale plays a really important role, as well as in science in general, where organisms and processes of different scales and proportions play hugely different roles, again, across different scales. So looking at microbes in particular, these smaller than what we can see with our eyes, organisms play hugely important roles on scales that are far grander than their size. For instance, global nutrient cycling in our oceans. Um, in one way that we can kind of view these different scales is through microscopy, but at the start of that is kind of what can we see with our naked eye. And so what we can see in our field at least is, for instance, when we grow algae, we can see that the liquid in the tube is growing more and more green in color. It stops being clear and becomes more dense and harder to see through. And that's indicative of growth of a organism on a smaller scale, but represented at a scale that we can see with our eyes. So in the field of microbiology, microscopes are very important instruments, as many of the organisms that we study and our work focuses on are often in a scale that is way smaller than what our eyes can perceive. So the size of these organisms necessitates the use of microscopes. And one common microscope that you may be familiar with is the light microscope, which can give us some pretty quick and not crazy detail images of the organisms that we're looking at. For example, we can see green algae swimming around and interacting with each other under a light microscope. But that doesn't really lend itself to be super useful in the field, as these interactions tend to be way more complex than just two organisms swimming around near each other or bumping into each other. And this can necessitate the use of more advanced instruments or microscopes. So in order to get a better visual of the organisms that we study and what's kind of going on between them and around them, is we can use an electron microscope. And so this is more of an advanced microscope, although it's similar to a light microscope in that it amplifies the visuals that we are trying to perceive, for example, our organisms. It's different in that it doesn't use light. So an electron microscope uses a beam of electrons to gather a signal from the surface of a sample and to generate an image that is of very high resolution and typically of extremely high magnification as well. And so these instruments are typically way too large to take out into the fields, and this necessitates bringing our samples back to a lab in which we can then image using these instruments. So the image is generated typically when using a scanning electron microscope are of the surface of whatever is on your sample. And in this case, we get kind of a 3D image of what our samples look like at a very, very high magnification with really high resolution. And so typically when we're looking at cells in this form, we can notice differences such as cell size. So with eukaryotes, you have the nucleus, or in the case of algae, of chloroplasts, where they fix carbon. However, bacteria are much smaller in scale and proportion as well, and they typically don't have these structures, so they're going to be a lot smaller. And you can see this in electron microscope images, where you have, for example, bacteria attached to the surface of an algal cell. And so these relationships are more easily inferred when looking at electron microscope images rather than those images on light microscopes, as that high resolution you can easily distinguish between um, what's happening and all the different substances and structures that are being formed. Um, and the structures in this case that we are interested in are biofilms. And so these biofilms can typically range from a few hundred cells to several million bacterial cells. And they use these as a way to attach to surfaces, um, and we can see these forming between algae, um, where bacteria are kind of attaching to the algae and interacting with them in that way. And this can tell us a lot about kind of what's happening in a lake or ocean, for example, by looking at these images and understanding that these structures are forming.